there's a lot of things we want to get out of the hops. We want to get some bitterness, but we also want to get wonderful aromas that hop has. So in order to do that, we need to add hops at different times. If we're looking to extract bitterness from the hops, then what we need to do is to boil them for a long time. But that long period of boiling basically drives away all the wonderful aromas. So we then add more hops towards the end of the boil, which don't really contribute a lot of bitterness, but they add a lot of aroma and flavor to it.
I like to speak it in terms of the beer itself, and that is three things. Bitterness comes from hops, flavor comes from hops, and aroma. And so we think of those three things kind of separately. All beer needs bitterness to help cut or balance the sweetness. So the sugar that we talked of that the yeast will consume and turn it into alcohol, it never eats all of the sugar. So all beer has a little bit of leftover sugar called residual sugar, leftover sugar. And so all beer would taste quite sweet to us if the sugar was not cut or balanced with bitterness, and that's where hops come in. When hops are boiled for a long time, they have an acid in them that basically bursts and becomes soluble or dissolvable in liquid. And when that acid bursts, it is perceived to all of us as bitterness. And so when hops boil for a long time, you will get that bitterness that helps cuts the sweetness. We vary that bitterness depending on the style. An IPA has a large level of bitterness. A Scottish ale has a little bit more sweetness, so the bitterness isn't as apparent. Then we use hops for flavor and aroma sometimes. It's not always necessary. We have a few beers where the beer style itself, you don't want hops for flavor and aroma to compete with those chocolatey malt flavors or nice caramel malt flavors. Those would be beer styles where it is kind of more about the malt than the hops. IPA is the proven example of the opposite of that, right? This beer is all about the hops. So you don't want the malt too much competing with the hop flavor and aroma. We add those hops, but they get less heat or boil time. That prevents a lot of the acids from bursting, but preserves the oils in them which give the flavor and aroma. If the hops boil for a really long time, say an hour and a half, the essential oils that smell and taste good will go right up the stack and into the atmosphere of Missoula, and you've lost them, but you get bitterness from them. If hops boil for a very short amount of time, those oils are preserved in the liquid and you will taste and smell them, but you won't get a lot of bitterness because the acids didn't have enough heat for a long enough time to burst and give you bitterness. So we think about those three different uses of hops for all of our beers. Bitterness is always appropriate, but to what degree? And then flavor and aroma depends on the style and what we're going for. And then to go further down the road with hops, we dry hop, we use a hop back, and these are all other ways to get big amounts of aroma. They don't involve heat, so you won't get bitterness. You will certainly get aroma and a little flavor.